30 seconds to let people come in, and I'm going to show you how to make these type of sticks in order to be able to write in hieratic, in the hieratic style of the ancient Egyptians, to get that nice design look, that thickness, that calligraphy that is basically known for their style. Now, you could use a reed, but I'm going to show you how to use something that's more accessible to you. You can find it really anywhere at a grocery store. What you have here to make the hieratic sticks is chopsticks, and good ones too. These are chopsticks. I'll see if I can zoom out here. All right, you just need chopsticks. That's all you need. And you need the thick ones. You see how thick that one is? You need the thick ones, and you need to cut it like a reed. So that's what I do, and I get that look. So what the best thing you could do really is just take, so I'm going to show you how to do it really. You just take the chopsticks here, right? You see that? You cut it out in that direction. You kind of shave it off. Once you've shaved it off, then what I do is, you don't have to, but I cut a line down the middle. That's what I like. Why? Because it controls the ink. All right, so I cut it down the middle. So you shave it off like that. You see, you just kind of trim it off slowly, and eventually you make a line down the middle. And that's it. That's all you need to do. I'll try to show you a little bit how to do it. Let me see if I can. So really, it's just shaving it off. You just pick a spot. You can keep it short. You can keep it long. It doesn't really matter. You can go as far back as you like, but you want to make sure the ink, if you make it too long, then the ink doesn't get far. It just dries up along the wood. So best thing to do is just maybe go around here, and you can get a good amount of ink from there, and it'll just hold. And that's it. You just kind of, see if I can get that in there. You just shave like that, you see? Try not to rip it off. You just keep going. Now, the thicker it is, the more control you have on the ink. You know, the thicker it is. I like to keep it thin, but that means I need more ink. But that's good because I don't want to keep drying up the ink. All right? So that's it. You just keep shaving it off like that until you get to that nice thickness. Now make sure it's even on both sides. Sometimes I'm just only good at doing one side. So you see that like that? Thank you very much. I appreciate being a fan. So that's it. So you get to that level. All right, let me just make sure I got to shave off a little bit, and I'll show you guys how to do it. All right, just shaving off as much as I can. Perfect, like something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now you can refine this. You can make it better for yourself. Now what you do is, if you want to get that slit down the middle, right, that line you can see. Hold on, if I can zoom in here. You know, you want to get that line down the middle there. Then you got to cut it down the middle with the X-Acto knife. And then I'll show you the ink. You know, once you go like that, yeah, and then you cut it down the middle. But I'm not going to do it for this one. All right, because you could pretty much use this the same way. So I'll show you one with, without. Okay, good, we're done. Let me show you a little bit the hieroglyphs here. All right, so now to make the ink, this is the black ink of ancient Egyptians, right? You can make a black ink. Now, it's not really the ancient Egyptian ink, but it's something like it. What you do is you just need charcoal. Give me a second, I'll show you. What you need is charcoal, and you need a little mortar, like something like that. So what I do is, if you're Middle Eastern, you probably have one of these in your house. You get these little charcoals. It's like they're little round little goblets, and they're used for incense. You just take one of these little guys, right? You crush them up in here. You know, you just crush them up and you grind them down. And that's what the Egyptians also used. They used black charcoal to make the charcoal. And they mixed it with water and gum arabic, or they used egg whites. You can use egg whites. And what you do is just grind it down. But you need to grind it and grind it, get it really fine. Don't have too many little bits of it. Just go on and 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 on, you see? And it becomes like a powder, almost like a smoke thin powder. So just refine it. Just go and go and go and go until you're done. And that's it. That's all you need. And the only other ingredient you really need is water. That's it. The charcoal is so thick that it actually sucks up the water. Don't put too much water. Now you see this is a little too much. You see how it swims around a lot? You don't need that. What you need is water that actually kind of looks like a thick blob, like ink. Just like move slowly. That's a good ink because then it sticks and it stays black. Because if you start applying it on the paper or the medium, whatever you have, then what happens, it becomes very thin, very light. You want it thick. So you only have to do it once, but you can still go over it a few times if you feel that you didn't get the right consistency. Yeah, it's very doable. I'm not showing you something that's very difficult. You just need charcoal. You need something to grind it with, and then you mix it with a little water. Start by putting a little bit of water. Now you see all this ink here, this is all dry, but that's okay because once you put water and you mix it, it actually takes it. So it never really dries. Charcoal can actually be resoluble again. So you just spin it around, right? You get it into a nice little thickness, and then what you do is you get that nice little ink on there. Now there's techniques to drawing. You can't just draw one way to get that style. I'll show you the few techniques you guys can use, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you how to draw a few titles. Now, you see these title here? This is the papyrus reed, okay, of the plant of Egypt. This is a title, and this is a B. So this is the king of Upper and Lower Egypt. All right, so this is the titles of Ramses. So before the majesty of the king of Upper and Lower Egypt, the lord of the two lands, and then you have the name of Ramses, right? Which is basically his throne name, which is Usertmatre Setep En Re. That's the name of Ramses the Great. So that's what you have right there. Right, so I'll show you this. I'll show you the B. So what you do is, I'm going to show you the techniques. Once you have that inside the liquid, let me see if I can just get out a little bit over here. So I usually go back and forth. So let me show you how to do it properly so you understand. I'll show you the 3 techniques of drawing like an Egyptian and hieratic. Now this isn't documented. I'm discovering this on my own. And I get a nice little ink. Not too much, but just enough ink. Now, the first thing is, if you want to draw a thick line, like the B, you see the top here, the B thick line, you really just apply flat marks. So you just go flat like that, you see? There's your thick line. There's your medium line. How do you get your medium line? Well, you turn it sideways, just a little sideways at an angle, and you get a medium line. Make sure I have a lot of ink so I come back to it. Not too much. So you'll see it's a medium line. You see that? That's like a medium line. Go sideways on the reed. Don't go flat on, but go sideways. Now you want to get a thin line, a very, very thin line to get the extra detail. All you do is you just go top-wise like that from the top. And then you draw a top line. And you get a thin line. And the amount of pressure you apply determines the thinness of it, right? And you can even, now there are other techniques where you can actually bend and twist and you get the thickness and then the lightness, right? And if you stay longer, the ink stays longer. If you go faster, the ink goes with it a little thinner. So things like that. So this is how to get the hieratic style. These are the 3 techniques, right? The straight on for thick, to the side to get a medium, and completely to the straight, or you can use a tip. So if you want an example, use the straight line, you just go straight down like that, or you use the tip of it, so the corner. Let me show you. So the corner of it. So you just do a little bit of a corner, but don't press too hard. And that's it. That's how you get the 3 styles. So if you can use this, guys, on your own, you don't really need a lot. You just, like I told you, you need charcoal. You need the mortar. Let me go back up here again. So you just need the charcoal, the mortar, a little kind of thing to put your liquid in, mix it with water, make your reed, and grind it out. Like that. All right. I was thinking about selling these. I can make them for people, and I can give you some papyrus paper. So, for example, here's some papyrus paper. I could probably do a little kit for everybody, and I can basically send you this and 2 of these, and you can practice on your own. Just message me if you're interested. I haven't really posted anything by it. But by all means, I'm happy to do something like that for you guys. So let me show you the B, and we'll get to the king of Upper and Lower Egypt. All right. So I've done a few here. So watch this example. I'm going to repeat this example over here. This is a letter T. So this is what's at the bottom of the titles in hieroglyphics. So I'm going to show you the titles. So with the ink, right? Dab a little of the ink. So the first thing is we're going to do the reed over here. I'm going to make it a little bigger. So all it is just a simple little blob on top and a straight line down. Remember that thin line you get there? How do you get that? Remember I showed you guys? You go from the top. You don't go flat, you don't go side, you go from the top. And then you just do a straight line like that. That's it. Now you do the B. Now we'll do the actual T. You just go over like that and like that. And there's your T. It's finished. And now you've done the title of the Upper Egypt, the king of Upper Egypt. All right. Now, the next thing, now this could be done in many different styles. Now we'll do the B. Well, the B is very simple. You just go, you do the little antennae. Now this is where the beauty of calligraphy comes. You can just enjoy moving around and designing it. So you just grab it, you go all the way around and cross over like that. Now you're going to do 3 medium legs of the B. You're going to do the first little one, the second little one, the third little one, and then you're going to do a big thick one for the long leg, like that. And then you do the wings, which are going to be thick. The wings were in many different styles. So nice thick like that, over like this, and a nice thick like that. You see when you have a thick ink, it stays black. Now if you see if it gets a little clear or transparent, don't worry about it. Just go over it again. It'll actually suck up. You don't even have to put a lot of pressure. It'll just take it. And then finally you'll put the T. Oh, see, that one didn't turn out right. Like that. And there you go. You've done the 2 titles of ancient Egypt. You've done the upper and lower. Now you see how it dries? Because I'm not using any like gum arabic or any egg white. You can use egg white to thicken it so it sticks on the paper and doesn't dry out. So that's it, guys. That's the title. Well, you can do, there's a lot of examples you can use. It doesn't really matter. I just find stuff. I find the hieratic scripts and writings and I just copy them. See, like example here, we have the title of Ramses, right? If you can see here. Right, before the ruler, this is the ruler of the king of upper, remember Upper Egypt I showed you before here, of Upper and Lower Egypt, the sedge plant of Upper Egypt and the bee of Lower Egypt. And then you have the word Nev for Lord of the 2 lands, the Taui. And then you have the Shen, which is the cartouche that is open, the circle, and then the way it closes at the end. So you have User, Ma'at Re, Setep En Re. So it basically means is powerful one of the Ra. I believe it's the powerful one, the truth of Ra, right? And then the chosen one of Ra, right? User Ma'at Re, Setep En Re. And that's it. No problem, my pleasure. So yeah, so I'm gonna probably put something like this on Etsy if you guys any reads or anything like that. Well, you know what? How about we'll do a final example. Let's do the title of Ramses, but we'll do it on here, on papyrus paper, so you guys can see what it looks like. Now, the thing with this paper, when you order it, this comes from Son of the Pharaoh. You can order it from him. But the thing about it is you need to burnish it. You need to flatten it because it's got a lot of edges and stuff from the plant. Remember, this is a paper from a plant. So you need to grind it down a little to simplify, to smooth it out. I try to find the best side and I try to do that, but I think they've already, just sometimes you get a little rough. Like this plant right here is a little high, so you need to grind that down with some kind of flat surface. You could use something like this at the bottom, right? And just kind of go back and forth and just grind it until it's flat. Or sandpaper, very thin sandpaper could do as well. So if we're going to do on papyrus paper, well, I'm going to show you the title of Ramses on the bottom here. I'm trying to get a side that's not bending over. All right. Try to put that there so it sits flat like that. Okay, so now we're going to do the title of Ramses over here. And it's going to be at the bottom, just so I can use it. We're going to use the ink, and we're going to show you the title. First, you're going to write the word before. Now, I'm going to have to do a line. The thing is, you have to find your line. So how about this will be our line right over here. So we stay straight. We don't start going up and down. We stay in nice straight form. So let's do the up and down. Yes, we were just talking about Ramses. So, Imam, so here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is the word before. All right, I'm just going to move this so I have enough space here. So we'll do the word before. And you got to make sure to respect the top as well. You don't want to go too high up. So try to keep it balanced, like any writing. Right? And now you're going to do the thin lines. Remember the thin lines, just got to make sure it's like this, is basically using the top, like that. Now you see that? If it doesn't fill all the way with ink, don't worry about it. Just go over it again. It'll fill by itself. You see, it fills by itself. Now I went a little too high, too low, so it's okay. We'll do the R. Like that. And then we'll go into the ruler. Right, just nice and thin, not too thick, and then a thick one. Right? The next line over here, this is basically connected to the same word, like that. Sorry, I'm getting a little hair here, I have to remove it. Okay, here we go. All right, we're gonna finish this off pretty quick. Do a little line like that, and then a thicker line like this. Now we're gonna do the sedge plant. Right, the sedge plant. And then we're going to do the straight line, like that. We're going to do the B again. See how that does that sound? It's because it's not burnished. It has to be properly burnished in order to be able to. Right, we're doing this, the B of Lower Egypt. With the wings. A line that goes over. And then the wings on top again. Now you have see how the plant isn't fully colored? That's because there's not enough ink, but that's okay. I can just add a little more like that and it's finished. A little more like that, and a little more like that. All right, so we're using charcoal for this. So this is the title of King of Upper and Lower Egypt, right? The King of Upper and Lower Egypt before the ruler of the King of Upper or Lower Egypt. Now we're gonna do the Lord of the Two Lands. He is the Lord of the Two Lands. So you do a thin one first for the Lord, and then a thick, and then it comes over to thin. You see, you gotta keep that nice calligraphy style. And then you're gonna do the decoration in the inside for the basket, but you're gonna keep it very thin. See, it's too much ink here. It's just thin, like that. And then you're gonna do the two lands as well, which are going to be thin as well. Thin like that, and then another thin like that, and then you can just do that. The Lord of the Two Lands, right? Before the ruler of the King of Upper in Egypt, Upper and Lower Egypt, Lord of the Two Lands, right? And now we're going to do the name of Ramses. This is the beautiful part. So we're going to do the cartouche first. We're going to go around in a circle. We're going to come down like that, and then we're going to go over like this. Now, how you position your reed is very important as well. How you position your reed is important. All right, now we're going to do the sun god, Ra, and that's going to be a thin one. So Ra is going to be very thin, right? And with a circle in the center for the sun god. Now we're going to do the Usur. The Usur is the power or the strength and might, right? Make sure you tip it off like that. Then you're going to go over, top, and then down like that. Like that, Usur. Now we're doing the name of Ramses. Let me finish it off here. Next, we're going to do the Ma'at, which is the truth and justice. Ma'at's going to come down a little bit like that. We have the body coming like this. She has a little bit of a decoration. It's kind of difficult to see, so I'll zoom in a little so you see the Ma'at style for the drawing. Okay, now you can flip this around. You don't have to draw a flower. You can flip it to try to get different textures and style. You don't get a lot of ink if you go from the other way around. And then just a slight ma'at like that. And we'll do her head right now, which will basically be something like that. Remember, the hieratic changes a lot. It's not because one way or one style. Now we'll do her feather at the end. So there comes her now, her headdress, which comes like this, and then like that again. That's her headdress. And then a little bow on top of it like that, that ties the headdress. And now we'll have the ma'at feather, which comes up and down like that, you see? Up and down like that. That's her feather. The famous feather of Ma'at that used for the scales. And then we'll do almost 4 symbols left. Now we'll do the setep, which is the word for chosen. That's going to come like this, like that. And then another line that goes like that, you see? And I'm using the side so I don't get too much ink. And then when I'm ready to come down to make a design, I'm going to go on the medium and then over like that. See that? That's the word for setep in hieratic. And now we'll finish it off with a line, which is the chosen of. This is the word of or o. And then finally, we'll do another Ra symbol, and we can change the style a little. Sometimes the Egyptians went around like that in the writing and then went over like this, just as a style, so you can see the difference. One was a circle with a dot, another one was done that way. And just to finish off, we close the cartouche. Remember, we opened the cartouche. Now we're going to close the cartouche. And the closing of the cartouche is very simple. You just go down like that and a little like that. And there you go. We've done today is the name of Ramses and his title. We've done the before the ruler of the king of Upper and Lower Egypt, right? The lower, upper, then the Sutbiti. And then you have the Nebtaui, Lord of the Two Lands, and then Ramses' his name in the throne name. Not Ramses, but his Usama'atre Setep Enre, the throne name by which you and me acknowledge him, not by the personal name. So you have the Usama'atre, the Setep Enre. That's his name. So that means the might of the Ma'at of Ra, or the truth of Ra, the power of the truth of Ra. And then you have the chosen of Ra. And that's it, everybody. That's hieratic. No problem. My pleasure, Deanna. So these are the tools that I make. Again, for you just tuning in, what we did today is show you how to write hieratic on papyrus paper. And I showed many examples here of how to do them on paper. And really all you need is really two ingredients. What you need is two ingredients, really. All you need, really, is just charcoal, right? Little cubes of charcoal I showed you guys earlier. You just need a little charcoal cube. You can get these at any store, really. Any grocery store or any Middle Eastern store will have this. These are usually mostly used for incense. You warm them up and you put incense on them. And you get a mortar and pestle, right? You throw that in here and you grind it. You grind it very fine, charcoal. Charcoal was used by ancient Egyptians, was used as an ink as well. Now they used lead for much of their eye paint, but we know that charcoal was also used. So that's it. You just grind it down till you get it very fine. Once you get it very fine, then what you do is you basically put it in a little bowl like that, right? You mix it with a little water, not too much. You want your liquid to be like that. You see how slowly it moves? That's what you want, this thin, this almost mercury-like movement. It has to move like mercury. It can't be like water moving all around everywhere, because then it's not thick enough, the ink. You need a thick ink. Thank you very much, The Rising Hat Official. Yeah, and that's it. That's all you need. And then once you have a little bit of that, right? And all you do now is you can write on papyrus. You can write hieratic like the Egyptians. Now you can also write hieroglyphic as well. You can do that. Now this is on papyrus paper right here, and that's on regular paper. Of course, regular paper is a lot smoother. That's why you get a nice look compared to the papyrus, which is a little rough. But that's why you got to burnish it, and you get it nice and smooth. So that's the two difference, guys. So this is all I wanted to do today. For frankincense, sure. Frankincense and myrrh and other incense as well. All right, guys. So thanks again for watching. And if you want any of these tools, like I said, these are just chopsticks. That's all they are. You know what? We're going to try something else today. So this one was the one where I made originally, and I cut a slit down the middle. Okay, so I can get more ink in there. But this one's a little shorter, and I have no slit. Let's try this one. And this one's a little thicker. Let me see what this looks like. I'll just do a quick on this paper here. Right? Let's see what it does if I just spin it in there for a bit. See, that's really thick. That's a thick ink. That's charcoal. You don't need to go far. Just get charcoal. If you want to make it a little more like darker, or it sticks better and doesn't come off after a while, then use egg white. Just mix some egg white in there, and that should do it. Yeah, let's try that. Let's see. I think this is, you see, it's okay. The ink doesn't spread as much, right? I don't get that nice reed look. The ink just kind of stays inside. It doesn't really come forward. See, it doesn't give me that look. Let's try the bee's ears. Like, I have to dip a lot, the ink. Well, not bad. It's not bad, actually, but it's not great. Yeah, so it's good, but you need to make it thinner. It almost has to bend, right? No problem. You see, it has to bend. You see how this one bends a little? Oops, I think I almost broke it. That's okay. See how that bends a little? That's what you need, and that nice little slit in the middle to carry some ink. This one doesn't have it. Right, this one doesn't have it. It's just kind of, now I could cut a slit in there to create more for the ink. You know, pushing down. You need to be able to push because then the ink can carry with it. I think it's pushing. Yeah, it's good. It's bending. So as long as that it can bend, it can do a little more. Right? Maybe after a while with the water. Yeah, there we go. It's getting better. So once it bends, it gets better. And that's what you need. And again, we'll do the B. The ears will bend over a little. Yeah, but you don't get that much ink. Well, the other one, you get a lot more. Anyways, guys, so that's it. If you're, if you want any, I'm gonna probably put some of these on Etsy. If you guys want any, I can cut some of these for you guys, and I can just give you a charcoal square. You know, maybe send you something like that. But let me know. I haven't decided if I'm gonna sell anything like this. I think I just like doing it and showing it to you all. All right, so I'll have more projects coming down with hieratic and hieroglyphics. And for those just tuning in, to finish this off, I'm showing you how to make black ink like the Egyptians, right? And using their style of reeds to be able to draw like they do. And that's it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate it, and all the best, and take care.